Yeah, Jen and Ben, as you said, statistics show 1 in 6 Americans falls for a robocall scam each year at an annual cost to consumers of $10 billion. But as you're about to see, the cost can go beyond money. The term spoofing refers to the practice of placing a phone call but embedding a false caller ID with it. So your phone rings, and even though the call is from, say, India, the caller ID on your screen looks like it's from your town or a neighbor or maybe even your place of work. For Terryville remodeling contractor Jim Patano, one spoof caller ID hit even closer to home.
I came home from work one evening and phone sitting on the table in front of me, and phone rings and it says me and my phone number. And how the heck did I do that?
Yeah, you were fairly certain you hadn't called yourself.
I did not call myself.
Patano got a good chuckle out of that, but of course there's a much darker side to spoofing, especially for the elderly. The AARP says people over 65 make up only 1/8 of the population, but nearly 1/3 of telemarketing scam victims, and experts agree they are particularly vulnerable to spoofing.
It was a 10-person ring in Costa Rica. They posed as representatives of the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission and also the FTC.
Angela Stanchik's grandmother, Marjorie Jones, was spoofed by robocallers pretending to be from the U.S. government. They told her she had won a large cash prize, and all she had to do to collect was pay the taxes and fees up front.
She couldn't tell anyone in her family because they wanted it to be sort of like a publisher's clearinghouse surprise. And then it would be a huge celebration with family. So it was really important not to tell anyone.
Once they got their hooks into her, Angela believes the scammers used intimidation and fear to coerce Marjorie into sending much more money.
We learned later that these criminals use social media images. They use fear. They investigate their victims. They find out everything they can about them, and they use that against them in the end just to siphon more money from them.
Angela says her grandmother took out a reverse mortgage on her home and cashed in her life insurance to pay off the thieves. And in the end, Marjorie Jones took her own life with $69 to her name. The Marjorie Jones case is an extreme example, and Angela Stanchik testified before the U.S. Senate Committee on Aging in 2019, giving powerful emotional testimony about her grandmother's story.
On behalf of my grandmother, Marjorie Jones, I want to thank the committee for hearing and exploring the growing and difficult problem of fraud against the elderly.
So at this point, you might be asking, if so much is known about these robocall operations and lawmakers in Washington are on the case, why hasn't it stopped? Remember, robocall systems are intentionally and ingeniously designed to evade and thwart investigation. Legal red tape and jurisdictional limitations make it difficult to investigate overseas companies, and constant innovation helps robo-crooks stay one step ahead of the law.
Though it can feel like whack-a-mole sometimes, we still have been successful, like with the prosecution against Associated Community Services.
Connecticut Attorney General William Tong says a robocall ring called Associated Community Services placed more than 1 billion robocalls to 67 million Americans, pretending to be raising money for various charities and bilking them out of hundreds of millions of dollars. Now Associated Community Services faces fines in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
There's a ton of focus on this, and law enforcement offices like mine are going to hold wrongdoers to account, and we're going to send them to jail and hold them accountable with huge fines.
Tong says he could use additional resources, and that's where Congress comes in. In late 2019, Congress passed a bill called the Traced Act, which requires service providers to implement blocking and authentication systems and increases fines on robocallers. And Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal says he is currently fine-tuning his own legislation called RoboCop.
RoboCop would provide free blocking technology to every single consumer, and it would also enable caller ID authentication, again, free of charge.
Blumenthal introduced the legislation 2 years ago and again last year, but with no success, and he blames opposition from the telecom companies.
The telecom companies are very simply resisting because they're concerned about the cost, but they have this obligation.
And Congress is putting pressure on service providers to meet that obligation. But we don't want to sugarcoat this for you. Experts say robocallers who are caught can pay a fine, even serve some jail time, and very quickly pop up in a new space, making new calls, scamming new victims, which is what the Attorney General meant when he compared it to a game of whack-a-mole. The bottom line is laws against robocalls cannot stop criminals from making them, so protecting yourself and your family is partly up to you. Well, tomorrow night, we'll dive deep into measures you can take, ranging from getting help offered by your carrier to behavioral changes you can make, and one small way you can outsmart the criminals. That's tomorrow night on the news at 10. And check out our website and news app for more on our company-wide robocall investigation. You can find my entire 3-part series, plus lots of other helpful content, so you can equip yourself to fight back and shield your family from robocall scammers. Brent Harden, Fox 61 News.